Okay, this is a cleaning a cymbal video. This is just how I do it. This is, and I only clean cymbals this way for B20 alloy, okay? Like regular Zildjian, regular Sabian alloy, Bosphorus, all that other stuff, Jazz Masters or Crescent or, you know, Paiste 602 or Paiste 20s, although I've never cleaned any other Paiste B20 except a 602. Although I think I cleaned a Sound Creation. Anyway, so my advice is just to use what I'm going to do here on B20 alloy cymbals. Okay? Don't put on B8, Paiste B8 or lower line Zildjian or Sabian B8, as well as, you know, Minel B8. Just with B8 it really sort of funkies with the it cleans the cymbal in a weird way. It gets a real pink funky color, okay? Anywho, so what we have here, well, it does say thin on here. Okay, thank God I have this in the cymbal video. So it's a thin, these are going to go, okay? It's a thin, suspended. I had this in the video before. This is my 17-inch special. It's a 17-inch suspended, so it's like a concert. It's a very flat profile. I love these particular cymbals. Again, I said before that Zildjian recently has changed again their specs of their regular Avitas to sort of the way they physically looked and hopefully sounded back in the 50s and 60s, okay? For a long time, in my opinion, the mid-70s to later, up until not that long ago, cymbals are very bowl-shaped, okay, and larger bells. This is a 17, which has a smaller bell, which is pretty much the threshold. Zildjian pretty much on every cymbal up to a 17, with the exception of a 17-inch rock crash, which I think says the big arse bell, but has these smaller bells, and then you jump to an 18, you get the big bell. But when I had seen this on eBay, I bought it because I thought it was an 18. It was sold to me as an 18. When I saw that little bell, I was like, great, an 18. But a 17 came, and I do love 17, so I'm just gonna keep it. So anyway, so B20 cymbal, how I clean it, a lot of people do. What I use is, gee, that's not that. All right, Barkeeper's Friend. Okay, now here's the deal. This stuff is great. But here's the thing, okay? You have to sort of make it to a paste first, okay? Don't just put that right on the cymbal because it'll scratch and get all funky there. So I'm going to come back in a minute after I paste. Okay, so here, let's just screw it. Let's just get out of there. Get out of there. All right, so here we go. Barkeeper's Friend. See it? Kind of funky. Put some in here. It's been a decade or 5 since I've used this. So hopefully it's good. Dust in here. This reminds me of the scene from Up in Smoke. He's pouring the Comet onto her, spills onto a plate, and the woman sniffs it, and she's like, which, by the way, that actress did just pass away. God love her. So, all right, so here's the powder, right? Boy, that smells like body odor, but I guess that's it. It actually smells to me a lot of muriatic acid, so I don't know if it's like powderized kind of muriatic acid, which it might be. So we won't put that much water in at all. God, I hope this is still good. So just enough, okay? See how it's sort of making a slurry, okay? Slurry time. Hey, notice my Bonzoleum coffee cup? Dun dun. Okay, so I'm mixing it up. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I normally, back in the day, I wouldn't use a glove because I'm a fool. What I have, so I made it sort of into a, looks like a milky, eggnoggy poison shake. So what I got is this. You can buy these babies. It's like the Frankenstein glove, right? It is alive. So I just take it and just stir it up at the end of my finger. Okay. See, it's kind of, you can almost, it's gritty a little. So just mix that up sort of into a pasty, sort of just pre-mix, okay? So, Dr. Jellyfinger, what I'm going to do then, okay, is get the cymbal in here. It's not rocket science, okay? You just kind of get that like that. So I'm going to do the underside first, okay? So that goes right in my little basin thingy. Okay, logo's gone. I mean, I don't care. I bought this cymbal for the way it sounds. So what I'm going to do first is I do this. Even though it really doesn't, get a little water on it first. Even though you'll see it beads off, right? I kind of just put a little water on it first. So a little water will sort of, it'll bead off the shinier part of the cymbal, but sort of stick around where the grime and stuff is a little, okay? So what I'll do now is just pour a little right on it, okay? So it's kind of like a creamy, weemy sort of cream thingy. Okay, so what I do now, check this out, just sort of rub, now see it sort of behaves like, if you've ever put ketchup or tomato sauce, it's very acidic. And if you pour it on a cymbal or like on your copper drain, it's all dirty, you'll see that immediately that acid in the tomato takes a lot of the, I mean, try it. You know, people are always like, oh, amazing, see what ketchup does? Yeah, ketchup doesn't seem to really, it works a little, but use something like this. Okay, Bart, so now I've sort of spread it around just loosely on the cymbal, right? So you can see that. I'm going to take this glove off. I'm going to come back in a second. So I'm going to put this on pause. Sitting there. Here we are back. It's still sitting on there. I went upstairs. I got a Dobie pad. D-O-B-I-E. These are great for washing dishes. It's a sponge surrounded by a plastic type of screen meshy thing. You know, like that. It doesn't let sharks bite you, except it's plastic. Okay, Dobie pad. Then I got a brush. Because on these B20 cymbals, most of the time, even the 602s, the lathing is different. It's a lot more deeper. Like stuff really in the 2002s and B8 and generally B15 alloys, doesn't seem to be as much as like treads or lines so deep into the cymbal proper as you'd find on the traditionally sort of lathed B20 cymbals, as I find. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, just a regular brush. Oh, screw it. Well, I should probably. Screw it. Let's just live on the edge. I'm kind of just right now trying to keep it in circles. So you'll see here what will happen is I let this sit for a while. And you'd be surprised. Cymbals are surprisingly ductile, meaning, you know, ductile, malleable, you know, bendable, especially the B20 like this. Okay? So what I'm going to do then for a while is I'm literally just going to, you know, because there's a lot of grime on this cymbal. It hasn't been cleaned since the dawn of time. So I'm going to just show you, just let it sort of, and this is going to soak for a while. You know, in the old, I've never really cleaned cymbals this dirty before. Typically, I would keep them not really, keep the original patina on it, but I want to play this cymbal. I like the way it's sort of a brighter cymbal. I just made that French symphonic video, if you want to hear it. There, it's a nice, bright, sort of a fast, crashy cymbal. But anyway, so I'm going to get back to you in a minute. Let me just scrub a little more. I don't want to, we'll make it, you know, hang on. So what I'm doing here is I'm still scrubbing, just with the brush, lightly. Just really trying to stay in the grooves, okay? This is still the underside, so right here there's still some heavy-duty groove action. But you'll find as you do it for a while, if I just wipe this away, look at how nice and shiny that is under there. Okay, it's almost like sometimes these can kind of look almost like a brand new Zildjian, okay? So I'm just still kind of doing this. You see, remember, these cymbals are pretty malleable. They don't, the B20, especially the older ones, it gives a little. You can do this safely, okay? I'm going right in the grooves, going around, because I'm eating away through the layers, okay? Going around, see how I'm doing that? More, going around. Going around. Going around, okay, before I go around. Now you'll see, look at this, how dirty that is, okay? That's like dirty, probably hyper cancerous liquid, but you know, what can you do? So I'm still getting it out. Okay. Still going here. Just need some scotch tape here. Still going. Going around. Going like this. Just like this. The under here is pretty good. Just what we're looking at here is for a lot of fingerprints, like a lot of human, like handy oils have sort of gotten on the outer 3 inches, okay? So, just still following the grooves, okay? Following the grooves. Okay, so we're going to come back. Get that out of the way for the love of God. So you can still in here see all that dirt. See that residue, that patina, oxidation you find on copper-based alloys, like that greenish. So I'm still just cruising around, okay? Being gentle, but remember, I mean, these do, I just ate quickly. These do bend, okay, which is nice. So again, I'm gonna get a little bit in here. kind of get some of that marker off, which doesn't bother me too much. I just want to get the grooves clean and uncluttered, okay? So we get a better crash sound. Get those grooves totally okay. Now watch what happens here. Okay, now we'll do a quick rinse. I'm going to show you just the difference here. Now watch. Just going to get this because I don't want to set. I don't like getting this residue everywhere. So see, I'm just sort of rinsing this guy out just a smidge. A little shake. Okay, now look at that Zildjian. Okay, do you see that? Now, yeah, it's great. It's shiny, but it's clean. You have much less dirt and grime, kind of in those grooves now. Okay, so for me, that's as clean as I want to get with it, by and large. But I did just realize, God, it's been so long since I've done this, that brush did put a few mild scratches here. I don't know if you can see those, just right here. Now, to me, I personally, that won't affect the sound as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, so maybe I do it. You normally use a different brush, one that it's a bath brush. It's rounder, it has a round top, and they're a lot softer than this. Although that's not that hot. Oh, these are. But so what I do now is on this side I won't use the brush. Okay, I'll just show you what I then typically do. What I've done in the past. Okay, so let's whip up a little more of the magic elixir. Now your Barkeeper's friend. Get some in there. Okay. Okay. Right. I do think this is like muriatic acid. There's something muriatic acidy about it. Again, use gloves. So anyway, so what I'm going to do here is an applicator. Here is that Dobie pad I was telling you about. So here, I'll show you. So see how shiny and see that? Okay, sorry about those small little bit. I didn't mean to put those there. I didn't think that brush would do that, but I don't care. I wouldn't do that on a. I typically don't clean my cymbals unless I want them to sound at their potential. You know what I mean? If this was an okay I was going to sell, I wouldn't do that. Okay, so now here's nice and clean. Yay! Right? And then the other side. Okay? So get that guy in there. I'm going to take this guy, kind of soak it up with some of this juice. I'm just going to run it around. Okay? Now watch how immediately. Remember I was telling you before about like ketchup? If you put ketchup on a cymbal, or at least a B20 one, or just plain old brass, or you'll see that the acids in ketchup will start taking the dirt off kind of right away. It essentially eats away at the cymbal, but just a teeny bit, like the surface crust, right? Like just a teensy-weensy bit. So the only reason why I want to clean this cymbal, I don't know if I'll clean those 20s, but you can just see how much dirt and grime is really in the outer grooves there. It's just, to me, that's muting the cymbal. You know, it really is. There's sometimes you'll see dark ones where it's not really so muted. You know what I mean? You can see that it's, dirty, but sometimes it's just. But here I can really see that grime and stuff. I can really, see it in the outer grooves of the cymbal. But like way out here, like again, the last 3 inches. So I'm going around. Again, this is just if you elect to clean your cymbals. So what I'm going to do is I actually will use that brush a teeny bit, but I'm going to be a hell of a lot more careful not to go against the groove, okay? Again, I wouldn't do, this is a cymbal I'm going to play. So, I know... God, what frickin' brush did I used to use? Where the hell is it? I'm just going to take this and go around again, the outside, okay? Now, I know a lot of guys right now might be, or gals, might be like, oh my God, you're getting other little scratches. But it really is just surface. Again, I wouldn't typically do this if I really want the gunk out of those grooves. Okay? It's for me right now, apart from it physically looking nice, it's just to really try and get the maximum sonic potential going on this cymbal. So I'm really trying to go with the grooves here, okay? Going all the way around. Well, what I normally do is just turn the cymbal so I don't have to follow it. But again, going around. See, I'm going like this. A little bit over here. Actually, a lot over there. So what's going to happen is, so what happens is when you're doing this, see, I got to be careful there when I do. I normally don't use a brush, but you'll see how I'll typically just go around like this. Like you'll see how suddenly this cymbal's suddenly starting to look beneath here, you know, kind of like a new Zildjian, okay? I mean, I don't, but again, it's great that it looks all shiny and stuff. But you know, you just want it to sound good again, and I'm just doing this for the 900th time, just to clear the gunk out of the grooves. Okay, the outer lathed grooves. Okay, so what I'm going to do real fast, just to sort of show you, is how this is coming along. It's hard to see when you're doing it because the dirt still is very present on top of the cymbal, like unrinsed. Okay, so let me let's do this. Let's just do a quick rinse. Okay, quick rinse. So now you can very much see kind of that New Zildjian sort of shine a little. Okay, and again, I won't be using that. I mean, on this I don't mind. That brush, a brush like that comes in handy if you can really just, you know, literally get in those grooves and get that oil and stuff out. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here. So I'm going to continue with this just a smidge. Okay. Now what I'll do after this stage is I will wash it in soap and water. Okay. Because, you know, sometimes you don't want this residue of this crap on there either. So again, let me just do a little bit more with the, I mean, really what you want to do is you want to make the Barkeeper's friend into a paste, which is kind of really what I sort of have in there, okay? But in my haste, I didn't really make the paste, okay? So I'm trying to get a little more of that paste. See, that's a little gunkier there, a little more sticky-ish. I'm going to go around again, okay? So really, kind of just go around loosely, like at first go around, and just be patient though. So it really just needs to kind of do its thing, right? So just around, okay? So I'm going to let it sit a little more, just like that, okay? Come back. Now I'm doing is it's pretty much done, okay? I went around and around. See how I rinsed? See all this green, oxidizy, green, copper-based, copper stuff always gets that oxidation, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'll just take a little soap. This is just method soap, just soap, any soap, dishwasher soap. And you just give it kind of a good, again, follow the grooves and kind of just go around. It's good to obviously clear off. You got to get rid of all the residue of the stuff you know, that you, or in this case I, was using. Okay, let me just get that all off the cymbal. Okay, so now I'm going to flip this guy over. Same thing, right here, just kind of get in here. Get the edges, just kind of get in the grooves too. So you know, some of this muriatic acid or whatever the hell's in Barkeeper's friend might kind of stick in those grooves. And I don't want, remember, I just wanted to clear the grooves out. If the cymbal looks better, which it will if you're getting stuff out, that's great. You get a better crash. Okay? So, there we go. That. And this guy, give that a rinsey rinse. That's warm water. Not that it matters, but again. Now, technically speaking, if you really are worried about the physical appearance of your cymbal, like let's say you're cleaning it, you want to sell. I don't know if somebody just wants to clean it and sell it, flip it or whatever, or you know. There's a stuff called, Bill Paiste turned me onto it. I guess it came in a little bottle. I think it was probably the same stuff that's in here. It just wasn't so granulate. It wasn't so chunky, like so abrasive. Rhodey in a bottle, okay? Rhodey in a bottle is terrific. So if you want to buy that stuff. But I just find, by and large, the Barkeeper's friend works too if you're just careful with it. But again, I didn't think that brush would scratch so bad. Those hairline scratches you see there. So what I'm doing is, see, I'm just kind of going, okay? Kind of just trying to get the grooves, just the, see, again, even rinsing to the grooves, okay? Flip it over. Thing. Go like this. Give that a good squeeze-a-lator. Go like this. One last final rinse. It'll work just like that. Okay. You'd be surprised, how much water there is. This will drift for a little while, because remember, there's a lot of sort of water in these grooves. So what I'll do now is just take this paper towel, just kind of give it a quick cursory sort of dry. Okay, and even when you do this, you'll see some green again still on your on the paper towel sometimes. Okay, like a little bit there. It's green, a little dark. So what I'm going to do is I will A/B this cymbal, taken from the other video, before I cleaned it up, and then I'll do a thing where you can sort of hear it. So I'm doing here, I'm just sort of getting the edges. So you'll see a little bit of, not really, a little bit of green. Okay, so here it is. So it's now clean. Blow on it just a smidgy wedge. Okay, so here that is. Okay, it's the exact same cymbal. Of course, the special that was under here is now gone. I don't care. And then on top it said thin, and then that said suspended. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's put this on and play it for a couple minutes. Okay, well, and then we'll do the A/B. Stand by. We'll get right back. It's done. Okay, this is the cymbal. I've cleaned it. So we got out more. I mean, it's just still a teeny bit of patina on it, but literally there was just gunk, oils and dirt and stuff from people grab the cymbal, and it all just builds up in there and sort of mutes the tone a little. Okay. I'm glad I spit right on there. All right. So we got this guy right here. You can see it's pretty nice. Okay. So again, I did put some fine little scratches here when I was assing around with that brush. I normally really don't use that. I use a different brush when I do clean my B20. All right. So now we're going to hear it, okay? So now this is it over here. In that other video, I'll get an A/B there. This is where it was, and let's just see if we can hear the difference. So this will be the end of this video then, because I'm going to go and just kind of A/B sort of how the before and after sound. So, and if I think it really doesn't sound any different, maybe I won't post the video. But yeah, this is how I clean B20 alloy, Formula 602s, or dirty sound creations. If I don't, I mean, if you don't care about the logo, right, if you want it to sound, just to remove the grease and the oxidation and everything up from the grooves, I use either Barkeeper's Friend or that other stuff, Rhodey in a bottle, which I don't happen to have here. I don't even know if they make it anymore. But that wasn't at all. Rhodey in a bottle was just sort of like a liquid, sort of like a, probably just really condensed Barkeeper's Friend, right? Except it just kind of looked like liquid dishwashing detergent. Like it was sort of clear. You could really sort of just kind of spread it on, let the cymbal sit for a long time, and then just kind of wipe. Unless you had some other stuff you could, you know what I mean? Versus this one with the liquefied, sort of pumiced Barkeeper's Friend, where I sort of just was wiping it in and then using the brush just to really get the outside points where the cymbal would be handled. Okay. All right. So there it is. Okay, so here is the uncleaned cymbal and then the cleaned, okay? So you're going to see me, right when I hit it, that's the uncleaned, and you'll hear that when it's uncleaned, the shimmer goes away real fast. It kind of goes psh, and then the clean goes psh. Okay, that's kind of it. Okay, so I was just looking to have the crash not muted as much. That's why I took all that gunk out. So from here on out, in a row, you're going to see it's a loop. Uncleaned, cleaned. Unclean, cleaned. Unclean, cleaned. Unclean, cleaned. I'll do it like 20 times, okay? The clip of the unclean does end a little early because where I took it from, I was talking a little more. It was the only place where I could kind of get it from. But you can really hear the decay. It really goes shh, kind of pretty quickly in the uncleaned, okay? So it'll start. Uncleaned followed by cleaned. Unclean followed by cleaned. Unclean followed by cleaned. In a loop. I just really want this to be helpful. Thanks for watching my videos.